Previously we studied up to uniform circular motion. Now we are studying about non-uniform circular motion. So what is meant by non-uniform circular motion? See my here. So this is a body which is moving in a circular path. Clear? Radius of the circular path is r. So here if you see the tangential velocity of this body, tangential velocity is how much? 2 meters per second. That is the tangential velocity or tangential speed. Okay. Now by the time body reaches here what is the tangential speed? 4 meters per second. But by the time it reached here, it is 6 meters per second, and here it is 8 meters per second. So what we understand? We understand that tangential velocity is not a constant. This is what we understand now. Tangential velocity and tangential speed of this particle is not constant. It is varying continuously. For example, if a car is moving in a circular path and if it is continuously accelerating, it means its speed will be increasing. No? Okay, therefore, tangential velocity is not a constant. If tangential velocity is not a constant, what about omega? What about omega? Or first of all, let us calculate what about alpha. Or instead of alpha, I will calculate at. Tangential acceleration will be how much? Tangential velocity is not a constant. What about tangential acceleration? Tangential acceleration means acceleration in this direction. Acceleration tangential to the circle is called tangential acceleration. Now tangential acceleration, is it 0 or is it present? If it is present, how much it is? Not equal to 0. It means tangential acceleration is present. How can you say? Tangential velocity is not constant. It means the tangential velocity is variable. So if velocity is variable, definitely body has acceleration. Because change in velocity by time is called as acceleration. Clear number? So therefore I say tangential acceleration is nothing but dvt divided by dt. That's all number. So change in tangential velocity, dvt. Tangential velocity is changing. No? So dvt is not 0. Are you able to understand? No? dvt. What is meant by dvt? Change in tangential velocity or instantaneous change in tangential velocity is not 0. Because definitely there is some change is there. No? So dvt is not 0. Okay. If a change in velocity is not 0, then acceleration also not 0. No? So acceleration also it is not 0. Clear number? So if I say dvt, if it is a constant, what is meant by dvt is a constant? Change in tangential velocity, if it is the change, if it is constant, that is with respect to time, how velocity is changing, that a change in velocity is constant, then tangential acceleration also will be constant only. So therefore what I can write, a is equals to, or at is equals to dvt divided by dt is also a constant. Are you able to understand what is happening in this condition? Okay. So change in velocity is not 0. It means velocity is changing. Velocity is changing, so definitely body's acceleration is present. Tangential acceleration is present. Okay. And if change in velocity is a constant, velocity is not a constant. What is constant? Change in velocity is a constant. Okay. Then tangential acceleration also will be constant. Are you able to understand? That's it. Then what about angular displacement? Angular displacement is not 0 number. Angle is changing, no, definitely. So initially particle is present here. After some time particle is present here. This is the angular displacement, theta. So theta, is it 0? No, definitely theta is present. Clear now? Then what about d theta? Change in angle. Is it present or not? Angle is changing or not? Definitely changing, no? So d theta is also not 0. Clear now? Because there is a definitely changing angle. Then what about omega? What is omega? Angular velocity, no? V is called velocity. Omega is called angular velocity. What is the formula for angular velocity? d theta divided by dt. So change in angle is not 0. So d theta by dt is also not 0. No? It means angular velocity is present. Body definitely has some angular velocity. Are you able to understand? No? Now what about angular velocity? Angular velocity d theta is not a constant. Can I say like this? So is the body covering same angle in same time? No, it will cover more angle in same amount of time because tangential speed is continuously increasing. So in first second it will cover 10 degrees. Second it will cover 20 degrees. Third second it will cover 30 degrees. Okay. So d theta is not a constant in same time interval. Can I say like this? Are you able to understand? In same time interval, change in angle, is it a constant? No. So first second lo 10 degrees cover chestundi. Velocity perugutune undi kada dandi. Speed is increasing continuously. So angle covered by the particle also will continuously increase. Are you able to understand? So change in angle is not a constant because tangential speed is continuously increasing. So if d theta is not a constant, then I can say omega also is not a constant. No? Clear number? I can say omega, which is equals to d theta divided by dt, change in angle by change in time. It is not a constant. It means omega value is also increasing. Angular velocity is also increasing continuously. Are you able to understand? In 1 second it will cover 10 degrees. Second it will cover 20 degrees. Third second it will cover 30 degrees. Angular velocity is increasing. How much angle it is covering in a particular time, that is continuously increasing. So if omega is increasing, then what about alpha? Alpha. What is alpha? Angular velocity divided by time taken. This is called as alpha. No? D omega divided by dt. Change in angular velocity divided by time. D omega, is it a constant? Change in omega, it is not a constant because omega value is continuously increasing. It is changing. So d omega is not 0. Okay. Change in angular velocity, is it 0? No, definitely there is some change in angular velocity. So if d omega is not 0, then alpha value also it is not 0. No? Alpha value also it is not 0. It means alpha value is present. So alpha is present. What is meant by alpha is present? So this body has some angular acceleration also. Okay. Now totally how many accelerations it is having? Tangential acceleration is present. Angular acceleration is also present. Then what about centripetal acceleration or normal acceleration? AC is equals to AN. What about this one? Centripetal acceleration. Already we studied that when a body is moving in a circular path, there will be 3 accelerations. No? 3 accelerations. What are the 3 accelerations? One is a tangential acceleration, another one is angular acceleration, another one is centripetal acceleration. Now these 2 are present. What about this one? This is always present. This is always present. That's what we studied now. For a body to move in a circular path, which acceleration is necessary? Centripetal acceleration is necessary. Otherwise body cannot move in a circular path. So therefore, in non-uniform circular motion, how many accelerations are present? Tangential acceleration is also present. Clear number? Angular acceleration is also present. And centripetal acceleration is also present. So all the 3 accelerations are present in this condition. Are you able to understand? So therefore what we say, note point is that all the 3 accelerations are present in non-uniform circular motion. In non-uniform circular motion. Understood, Nama? But in uniform circular motion, how many accelerations were present? Only 1 acceleration was present. What was that acceleration? Centripetal acceleration. Only this acceleration was present in uniform circular motion. But here we have 3 accelerations which are present. Okay. So try to understand them very, very, very carefully. If you don't understand this concept, total circular motion, you can never understand. Okay. So therefore, tangential velocity is not a constant. Okay. So therefore, acceleration is not 0. What is meant by acceleration is not 0? Acceleration is present. That is the meaning of this one. No? 0 kaadu ante arthameme undi ani artham ante. Are you able to understand? Similarly, if change in velocity is not 0, this condition, if change in velocity is not 0, then acceleration is definitely present. Then if a change in velocity, change in tangential velocity, if it is a constant, velocity is not a constant here, change in velocity is a constant, then acceleration, tangential acceleration also is a constant. Are you able to understand? Next condition, change in angle is not a constant. It means angle is changing with respect to time. First to second 10 degrees, second to second 20 degrees. So change in angle is changing and it is a constant. So therefore omega d theta divided by dt, it is not a constant. It means that omega is not a constant means what? Acceleration is present. Which acceleration? Angular acceleration is definitely present. Are you able to understand? And this is always present. For a body to move in a circular path, centripetal acceleration must be present. Otherwise, body cannot move in a circular path. So all the three accelerations are present in this condition. Understood? Make a note up to here. Now let us see the direction of acceleration. Tangential acceleration. Okay. So directions of accelerations. Okay, ma? So we have studied three accelerations. Now let us see all the directions of all the three accelerations. See, for example, a body is moving in a circular path, and if a body is present here, its tangential velocity is 2 meters per second. When body is present here, its tangential velocity is 4 meters per second. When body is present here, its tangential velocity is 6 meters per second. Are you able to understand? Now in this condition, can you say what is the direction of tangential acceleration? Ma? First of all, tangential acceleration is not zero, no? Tangential acceleration on the body, it is present. Why? Because velocity is increasing, no? If velocity is increasing, definitely acceleration must be present. Okay. Now what is the direction of this tangential acceleration? In the direction of velocity. That's all. Velocity is increasing, no? Tangential speed is increasing. If tangential speed is increasing, then acceleration also will be in the direction of velocity. That means here the direction of tangential acceleration is in this direction. Here it is in this direction. Clear? No? Here it is in this direction. So these are the directions of tangential acceleration. In which condition? So tangential speed is increasing. Are you able to understand? Now what about centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration or normal acceleration. This is also not zero, no, this is always present. What is the direction of centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration in direction that will be towards the direction of centripetal force. Centripetal force will be in this direction. No? So centripetal acceleration also will be in the same direction. Clear? No? Similarly, this is the direction of centripetal force and this is the direction of centripetal acceleration. So this is the direction of centripetal force. This is the direction of centripetal acceleration. Clear now? So centripetal acceleration is always acting towards the center of the circle. Clear? Then what about alpha? Alpha is in which direction? Angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is in which direction? Come on. Angular acceleration is in which direction? Alpha. Anybody? All the three acceleration directions we should understand now. So two directions we have understood. Now what about the direction of alpha? Clear? Sima. Already we have studied some equations, no? What are the equations we have studied? V tangential is equals to omega into r. This we have studied now in the last class. Relation between tangential velocity and angular velocity. Vt is equals to omega into r. In vector form, how we have written? Vt dash is equals to omega dash cross r dash. This also we have written now. Okay, ma? Now if I differentiated this one, then what is the equation I got? I got A tangential is equals to alpha into r. This was the equation which I got. Clear now? And in vector form, how can I write? At dash is equals to alpha dash cross r dash. This is the equation which I can write. Okay. Now by using right hand rule for cross product, can you say what is the direction of alpha? What is the direction of alpha? No? Towards positive x-axis. Positive z-axis. Okay. So if I do alpha dash cross r dash, I should get at, no? That is the meaning of this one. No? If I do cross product of these two, I should get tangential acceleration. Okay. So already we studied that theta, omega, alpha, torque, angular momentum, they are what kind of vectors? They are axial vectors. Already we studied. What is meant by axial vectors? They are in the direction of axis. They are in the direction of axis. So what is the axis here? Axis is, this is the axis number. Around this axis only, these bodies are rotating. Are you able to understand? So therefore, definitely alpha will be, either it will be towards positive z-axis or either it will be towards negative z-axis. Now if it is towards positive z-axis or negative z-axis, how can I calculate? I can calculate by using alpha dash cross r dash. Clear number? So let us consider, see, this is the direction of tangential acceleration, no? Are you able to understand? This is the direction of tangential acceleration. So let us consider alpha is in this direction. Alpha is in this direction. And which is the radius vector? This is the radius vector, no? Are you able to understand? So therefore, let us consider this is the direction of radius. This is alpha and this is r, radius vector. What I am supposed to do? I am supposed to do alpha dash cross r dash, alpha r dash. What is the direction of tangential acceleration? This is the direction of tangential acceleration. Satisfied? Are you able to understand? So therefore, in this condition, alpha is in which direction? Alpha is perpendicular and out of the board, or it is towards positive z-axis. Are you able to understand how to apply right hand rule for cross product? First, place your right hand on first vector, rotate towards second vector. Thumb gives the direction of resultant vector. Already we have studied too. So therefore what we say? Therefore we say alpha is perpendicular and out of board. Okay, ma? It is perpendicular to the board and it is out. Okay, ma? So therefore we have understood the direction of alpha number. Alpha is perpendicular and out of board in this condition. Or I can say alpha is towards positive z-axis. Clear now? If I take this axis to be positive z-axis, the axis coming out of the board, then alpha is towards positive z-axis. Clear? Now, so all the three acceleration directions we have understood now. Now I will slightly change the question. Clear now? So now in the second condition, tangential velocity is 6 meters per second, and here it is 4 meters per second, and here it is 2 meters per second. Now what is happening? Can you say? Initial velocity is 6. After some time velocity is 4. Which velocity? Tangential velocity. Then after some time again tangential velocity is 2. Now what can you say? Tangential velocity is decreasing. Then what about the direction of tangential acceleration? Tangential acceleration, now it is exactly in opposite direction. This is the direction of tangential acceleration. Velocity is decreasing number, so acceleration should be in opposite direction. Clear? Then here this is the direction of tangential acceleration, and here also. Okay, so this is the direction of tangential acceleration. Okay, so tangential acceleration is not zero. Definitely it is present because velocity is changing. No, tangential acceleration is definitely present. Okay, now what about Vt? Tangential velocity is decreasing. It is decreasing. Clear now? So then what about centripetal acceleration? What about centripetal acceleration? Is it present or not? Definitely it is present, otherwise body cannot move in a circular path. So this is present. Now what about its direction? Direction of centripetal acceleration? Towards the center only, because that is the acceleration which is responsible for making the body move in a circular path, and that is always present. Okay. Then what about alpha value? What about alpha? Alpha is in which direction? Angular acceleration is in which direction? Exactly in opposite direction. Clear, no? Because AT direction has changed, no? So alpha t, alpha direction also will change. So alpha is perpendicular and inside the board. Inside the board. Clear, no? So alpha is towards negative z-axis. So this always you can identify by using right hand rule for cross product. Are you able to understand me? So see ma, now we are saying that alpha is inside the board, no? Radius is in this direction if I want to calculate at this position. So alpha dash cross r dash. This is the direction of tangential acceleration, no? So that is the direction of tangential acceleration. Clear? That's condition C. In uniform circular motion, how many accelerations we have? Only one acceleration. What is that? Centripetal acceleration. Clear, no? For example, if body is moving like this, then this is the direction of centripetal acceleration. And this is the only acceleration which is acting, and this is the direction of that acceleration. Clear, no? Okay. Similarly, when body is here, then this is the direction of acceleration, centripetal acceleration. But here in this condition, non-uniform circular motion, there are three accelerations, no? One acceleration is angular acceleration is present, alpha is present. Clear, no? A tangential is also present, A normal is also present. So what about velocity of the body? Tangential speed is increasing, no? So therefore, what is the direction of tangential acceleration? This is the direction of tangential acceleration. And centripetal acceleration is always present, no? This is the direction of centripetal acceleration. So therefore, the net acceleration acting on this body, can I say it is the resultant of this acceleration and this acceleration? Clear, no? So therefore, what is the point here I have to write? The net resultant acceleration, okay, ma? So is the resultant of which two accelerations? Tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration. Are you able to understand? So therefore, now this body is experiencing two accelerations, no? One acceleration is tangential acceleration, another one is centripetal acceleration. So therefore, what is the resultant acceleration? See, these two vectors, they are joined tail to tail, no? Vectors are joined tail to tail. What kind of addition? Parallelogram rule of addition. So just duplicate these vectors. Clear, no? Then this is my acceleration, which is called as net acceleration acting on that body. Clear, no? So therefore, A value, resultant acceleration, how can I calculate it? Is square root of AC square plus AT square. So this is the net acceleration acting on a body, in which condition when body is moving in non-uniform circular motion. Okay. When it is in uniform circular motion, there is only one acceleration, centripetal acceleration. Okay. And what is the equation for centripetal acceleration? V square by R, or you can write omega square into R. These are the equations for centripetal acceleration. But what are the equations of net acceleration? So centripetal acceleration we know. Centripetal acceleration is equals to omega square into R, or V square divided by R. Okay. Then what about a tangential acceleration? A tangential can be written as dVt divided by dt, no? Tangential acceleration means how tangential velocity is changing with respect to time. One equation. Another equation is, already we have studied, A tangential is equals to omega into R. That also we have studied. No? So in this condition, angular velocity is a constant. Okay, ma? In uniform circular motion, body is covering same angle in same time. But what about this condition? In this condition, angular velocity is not a constant. Here it is variable. So at a particular instant, what is the angular velocity? That angular velocity multiplied by R. Are you able to understand? Sorry, A tangential is equals to alpha into R. Not omega into R, no, alpha into R. So alpha into R is the equation for tangential acceleration, and centripetal acceleration is omega square into R, or you can call it as V square by R. So therefore, if you substitute in this equation, then what you will get? Then I will get A is equal to square root of, instead of AC I can write, let us write this equation, V square divided by R whole square plus next A tangential. Tangential is how much more? Alpha into R whole square. Clear? So this is the net acceleration acting on a particle which is moving in non-uniform circular motion. Okay? And direction of this acceleration also you can find out. You can find this angle to be theta 1, this angle to be theta 2, like that also you can calculate. For example, if I want angle theta 2, then what I have to do? I can take tan theta 2, no? Tan theta 2. Okay. So in this right angle triangle, which is the opposite side and which is the adjacent side? If this is A tangential, this is also A tangential, no? And this is centripetal acceleration. So therefore, tan theta 2 opposite by adjacent. Clear? Opposite is A tangential, adjacent is A centripetal. So therefore, theta 2, how can you calculate? Theta 2 is equal to tan inverse of AT divided by AC. So this is the angle with which the resultant acceleration is making with respect to horizontal. Similarly, you can find tan theta 1 also. Understood now? That's it. So these are the different equations for acceleration which we have. So here we have only one acceleration, but here we have three accelerations. Angular acceleration is also present. And resultant acceleration is the acceleration of tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration. Clear? That's it. Circle of radius 12 meters. So what is the radius of the circle? Radius of the circle is 12 meters. So at an instant, its speed is 6 meters per second. Speed means which speed? What is meant by speed here? Come on. If a body is moving in a circular path, what is meant by speed of the particle? Speed is nothing but tangential speed. Clear? No? Tangential speed is how much? 6 meters per second. So that's what he gave. No? And radius is equal to 12 meters. Okay, ma? So, and the speed is increasing at the rate of 4 meters per second square. Second square means acceleration. No? Which acceleration? Which acceleration? Speed is increasing at the rate of 4 meter per second square means which acceleration? Tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration is 4 meter per second square. Tangential velocity is increasing, no? Then it is called tangential acceleration. Are you able to understand? Okay. Then find the acceleration of the particle. So he is asking us to find out what is the acceleration of the particle. Now can you say, already he gave acceleration, no? Then again what he is asking, what is this acceleration? This is the resultant acceleration. Are you able to understand, ma? See, ma, velocity of the particle is increasing, no? It means definitely tangential acceleration will be in this direction. And centripetal acceleration is always present, no? Clear, no? Therefore, what is the resultant acceleration? So one acceleration is centripetal acceleration, another acceleration is tangential acceleration. So therefore, what is the resultant acceleration, ma? This becomes the resultant acceleration. A is equal to square root of AC square plus AT square. Already we have studied just now, no? Clear, no? So tangential acceleration already he gave 4 meters per second square. Then how can I calculate a centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration, Centripetal ela find out cheyali? V square by R. Already we have that relation, no? Centripetal acceleration formula V square divided by R, or V tangential square divided by R. What is V tangential? 6. So 6 square divided by radius is 12. So 36 divided by 12, it is 3 meters per second square. That is the centripetal acceleration. Now both accelerations we have now substitute in this relation. So therefore resultant acceleration is equal to square root of AC. AC is 3 square, AT is 4 square. So square root of 9 plus 16, 25. So root 25 is equal to 5 meters per second square. This is the resultant acceleration. That's all, that is my answer. Understood now? And resultant acceleration is in which direction? So let us consider this angle to be theta 1 and this angle to be theta 2. So theta 1 is the angle with respect to vertical. Theta 2 is the angle with respect to horizontal. You can find any one of them. Options lo edi ichunte adi meer cheyochu. Clear? So for example, if I want to find theta 1, clear nama? So take tan theta 1. Tan theta 1 is opposite divided by adjacent. Clear nama? Which is the opposite side in this right angle triangle? This is the opposite side nama, which is nothing but AC. And this is the adjacent side AT. Clear no? So AC divided by AT. AC, centripetal acceleration is how much? 3. Tangential acceleration is how much? 4. So 3 by 4. Okay. So therefore, tan theta 1 is t by 4, then theta 1 is how much? It is 37 degrees. Clear no? So if theta 1 is 37, theta 2 will be 53 degrees. Because total should be 90 degrees no? That's all. That is how I can find out the angles. So therefore, resultant acceleration is in this direction. And making how much angle? Making an angle of 37 degrees, and this angle is 53 degrees. And what is the resultant acceleration, which is equal to 5 meters per second square. This is the resultant acceleration. That's all. Understood now how we are doing? Particle is moving in a circle of radius r, and its tangential speed is given by lambda into t square. Speed antune tangential acceleration. Speed is nothing but tangential acceleration, tangential velocity. Clear now? So tangential speed is lambda into t square. So find radial acceleration. Radial acceleration means centripetal acceleration, or you can call it as normal acceleration. Clear? Tangential acceleration means AT, tangential acceleration, and resultant acceleration and angle between acceleration and velocity. Okay. So let us see the first one. First one is radial acceleration. or you can call it as centripetal acceleration, or you can call it as normal acceleration. So what is the equation for normal acceleration? V tangential square divided by r. This is the formula. No? This formula you should remember. Clear? So Vt is how much? Lambda t square whole square divided by r. That's all. No? So therefore how much it is? It is, we'll do here. So it is equals to lambda square t power 4 divided by r. Okay, ba? So this is our centripetal acceleration. Clear? Then what is the next acceleration? He is asking tangential acceleration. So what is the equation for a tangential acceleration? Ma? There are two equations for tangential acceleration. No? One equation is dvt divided by dt is one equation. Another equation is alpha into r. Two equations are there. But alpha value I don't know. I don't know alpha value. So I will use this relation. A tangential is equals to dvt by dt. That is differentiation of tangential velocity. That's it. So therefore A tangential is equals to d by dt of, clear number? So tangential velocity is how much? Lambda into t square. Lambda is a constant, no? Take it out of differentiation. So lambda into differentiation of t square is 2t. So therefore 2 lambda into t, that is the tangential acceleration. Clear? Then the third one, resultant acceleration. Okay, ma? Resultant acceleration already we have calculated. No? It is the square root of at square plus ac square. Clear? So square root of at is how much? 2 lambda t whole square. AC value is how much? Lambda square t power 4 divided by r. Okay, ma? Whole square. So just if you want to simplify, you can simplify or leave up to there. That is the total acceleration. Okay, ma? Or net acceleration. Then what is the third one? He is asking angle between velocity and acceleration. What is meant by velocity and acceleration? Angle between tangential velocity and resultant acceleration. Acceleration means always resultant acceleration only. Acceleration antune acceleration తీసుకోవాలి మీరు, resultant acceleration you should take. Clear? So therefore resultant acceleration I have to take in this direction. No? This is the resultant acceleration. So this angle he is asking us to find out, angle theta. Clear? See, in the same direction tangential acceleration is also present. No? At is also present. And what is this one? This is centripetal acceleration. No? So this is also centripetal acceleration. So therefore theta value how can I calculate? So just you take a tan theta. Tan theta is equals to opposite divided by adjacent. Opposite I can take AC. Okay, ma? Adjacent I can take AT. That's it. AC by AT. And that is the angle with respect to acceleration and velocity only. No? This is the velocity direction. Velocity is the direction of tangential acceleration also. That's it. So therefore AC value, therefore theta is equal to tan inverse of AC. Where is AC? Here it is AC. So lambda square t power 4 divided by r divided by AT. AT is 2 lambda into t. Clear number? And I hope you can simplify this one now. Just simplify this one. So 1 lambda and 1 t square get cancelled. So 1 t and a t cube I will get. So just do this calculation. That is my required angle. That's it. Fine? Very. So let us see this question. So the kinetic energy of a particle moving in a circle of radius r depends on a distance s, where kinetic energy is equal to lambda s squared. Okay, where lambda is a constant. Then find the force acting on a particle as a function of displacement. That is the question. So let us see what is the meaning of this question. Okay, see ma. So this is a circular path in which a particle body is traveling, ma. And what about its kinetic energy, ma? Kinetic energy is given as lambda s squared. Okay. So when you look at this relation, what do you understand? K is equal to lambda s square. What do you understand? ఏం అర్థమవుతుంది చెప్పండి, ఏం అర్థమవుతుంది వారాలు absent అయితే మళ్ళీ తగలయ్యా. What do you understand? So if displacement is increasing or distance travelled by the body, if it is increasing, kinetic energy is also increasing. That is the meaning of this phenomenon. Okay. So it means when body starts travelling in this circular path, distance travelled by the body continuously increases, no? Then kinetic energy is also increasing. It means with respect to displacement, speed of the particle is also increasing, no? That is the meaning of this one. No? Kinetic energy depends on what? Kinetic energy depends on half mv square. Clear, no? So here I can say that kinetic energy is directly proportional to s square. It means as a distance traveled by the body is increasing, kinetic energy is also increasing. And kinetic energy depends on what? Speed of the particle. Kinetic energy దేనిపైన డిపెండ్ అవుతుంది? Speed పైన. So it means as body is traveling in this circular path, velocity or speed of this particle is also increasing. That is the meaning of this one. So if a velocity is increasing, then is it uniform circular motion or non-uniform circular motion? Definitely non-uniform circular motion. No? When velocity of the particle increases, definitely it belongs to non-uniform circular motion. Okay. So in so therefore one point which I can say is this motion is non-uniform circular motion. Understood, Nama? Why it is a non-uniform circular motion? Because in non-uniform circular motion, here if tangential velocity is 2 meters per second, then by the time body reaches here tangential speed will definitely increase, no? 4 meters per second, and here tangential velocity will become 6 meters per second. So continuously tangential speed of the body increases in non-uniform circular motion. So if tangential speed increases, kinetic energy also increases. And the relation is given like this. Kinetic energy depends on lambda s square. It means as the distance increases, kinetic energy also increases. Definitely this is a non-uniform circular motion. So in non-uniform circular motion, this body will experience how many accelerations? 3. Angular acceleration is also present, but that doesn't come under acceleration of a particle, number. Clear? So this body will experience 2 accelerations. What are they? One acceleration is a centripetal acceleration, and another acceleration is what you call tangential acceleration. So body will experience 2 accelerations. And what is the net resultant of these 2 accelerations? Net resultant of these 2 accelerations is called as net acceleration A. That is how we have studied in the last class. No? So total acceleration or net acceleration is the vector sum of this acceleration and this acceleration. And how can I calculate vector sum? Yesterday we have studied, Nama, A is equals to square root of at square plus ac square. This is the equation which we have written now. Okay. So this is the net acceleration experienced by this particle. Net acceleration. So particle will experience net acceleration in which condition? If net force is this much amount of acceleration. Now who produces this acceleration? Acceleration ever produces the force. Force produces acceleration. What net force will do on a body? Net force will produce net acceleration, and that force only he is asking us to find out. Find a force acting on the particle. Are you able to understand? Clear? So let us see how many forces are acting on this particle. See, for example, if this is a body which is moving in a circular path, it will have 2 accelerations too. Clear? What is this acceleration? This acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration. Who produces this centripetal acceleration? Centripetal force produces this centripetal acceleration. Acceleration ఎవరు ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తారు? ఫోర్స్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తుంది. మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చినారు అంటే ఏం చెప్తారు? తల్లిదండ్రుల నుంచి వచ్చినారు. యాక్సిలరేషన్ కూడా అంతే, నెట్ ఫోర్స్ నుంచి ప్రొడ్యూస్ అవుతుంది. అంతే కదా? నెట్ ఫోర్స్ ఆల్వేస్ ప్రొడ్యూసెస్ యాక్సిలరేషన్. ఓకే. సో సెంట్రిపెటల్ యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఈస్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్ బై సెంట్రిపెటల్ ఫోర్స్. బట్ బాడీ ఈస్ యాక్సిలరేటింగ్ ఇన్ టాంజెన్షియల్ డైరెక్షన్ ఆల్సో. Body is accelerating in tangential direction also. What is happening to its speed? Speed is continuously increasing. No? Speed is continuously increasing means what kind of acceleration it has? Tangential acceleration. So who is producing this tangential acceleration? Tangential force. So some tangential force is accelerating this body in tangential direction. Clear? So 2 forces produces 2 accelerations. Clear? So therefore what is the net acceleration? This will become the net force. Clear, no? This becomes the net force. And net force, how can I write? Net force I can write it is square root of ft square plus fc square. Clear? So this is the net force which is producing this net acceleration. Can I say like this? Net force produces net acceleration. Okay. So therefore, just if you can calculate a net force, can I write F net is equal to mass into net acceleration? Can I call like this one? Because net force always produces net acceleration. And how? What is the equation for net acceleration? This is the equation for net acceleration. So calculate this net acceleration, substitute in this equation, you will get the net force. That's it. Now the question is how to find out AT and AC. Are they given? No. Then how can I calculate? AC and AT values, they are not given. No? If they are given, I can substitute in this equation. Then this total acceleration, if I substitute here, then I will get the net force. Now how can I calculate net acceleration and tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration? Kinetic energy is given. With the help of kinetic energy, what can I do? So kinetic energy is already given, no? Kinetic energy is lambda s square. What is the equation for kinetic energy? Half mv square is the equation. Okay. And v means what is this velocity? Tangential velocity, this velocity. Clear, no? So first of all, you calculate tangential velocity. So what is the tangential velocity? So 2 lambda s square divided by m root is equal to v. So this is the tangential velocity which I got. Okay. So once I got a tangential velocity, now I can calculate centripetal acceleration. No? What is the equation for centripetal acceleration? Centripetal acceleration is vt square divided by r. Radius already given, no ma? Circle of radius r is already given. So calculate vt square. So vt square is how much? 2 lambda s square divided by m into r. So this is my first equation. I got centripetal acceleration. No? So once I calculate centripetal acceleration, then I will go for tangential acceleration. So what is the equation for tangential acceleration? Okay, ma? Tangential acceleration can be written as dvt divided by dt. This is one relation. No? These relations are gurtundali meeku. Okay? So differentiation of tangential speed is nothing but tangential acceleration. Okay? So therefore, one more equation is also there. Alpha into r is also there. No? A tangential is equal to alpha into r. Yesterday we studied. But this equation is not suitable here because alpha value I don't know. No? Alpha value I don't know. So I will use this relation. At is equals to d by dt of vt. What is vt? Where is vt? Here is vt. Clear, no? So therefore, A tangential is equals to, so d by dt of tangential speed. Tangential speed is how much? Root of 2 lambda s square divided by m. Okay? Oh, we have a small problem here. Ma. This formula of tangential acceleration also I cannot use. Why? Because tangential acceleration, tangential velocity is it depending upon time? Ma? Is it depending upon time? Time, is it present here? No, it is dependent on what? It is dependent on displacement. Displacement. Are you able to understand? So this equation also I cannot use. This equation also I cannot use. So then what I have to do? What I have to do? I have two equations for tangential acceleration. A is equals to dvt by dt. I cannot use because velocity is not dependent on time here. Velocity time paina depend in the ledu. So I cannot use. Alpha into r also I cannot use because alpha value I don't know. So what I have to do now? We have one more equation for acceleration. No? What is that equation? A is equals to v dv divided by dx. In kinematics we studied, no? A is equals to v dv divided by dx. This equation I can use in which condition? When velocity depends upon displacement. Velocity is dependent on displacement only. No? Then definitely I can use that relation. Are you able to understand? Now come on. So substitute in that relation and see what is the answer you will get. This one completed, no ma? So let us. So therefore, so A is equals to tangential acceleration is equals to v. What is v? 2 lambda s square divided by m root multiplied by dv by dx. dv by dx or dv by ds, both are same. Multiplied by again tangential velocity. Again tangential velocity is root 2 lambda s square divided by m. So I got equation up to here, no? V dv divided by ds. Okay. Now do the calculation. So root of 2 lambda s square divided by m multiplied by, see ma here, this total value I am differentiating with respect to s, no? So s is the only variable here. Remaining all terms, they will become constants. So root of 2 lambda by m is a constant. Correct only? No? I am differentiating with respect to what? Displacement. So only displacement is the variable. Remaining all the terms, they are constants. So take them out of the integration. So root of 2 lambda divided by m multiplied by, now differentiation of root s square. So root and square get cancelled now. So therefore what I am left with? So 2 lambda s square divided by m multiplied by root 2 lambda by m multiplied by ds by ds will become 1, no ma? Ds by ds is 1. So therefore if I do this total calculation, I will get 2 lambda s divided by m. So this is the equation for tangential acceleration. Are you able to understand? So I got both the accelerations, no? Where is the centripetal acceleration, no? This is the centripetal acceleration and this is the tangential acceleration. So therefore net acceleration, how can I calculate? Net acceleration is equals to square root of at square plus ac square. That is the equation number. So substitute in that. So this is equals to square root of at value. So 2 lambda s divided by m whole square plus ac value 2 lambda s square divided by m into r again whole square. So you simplify this one, you will get net acceleration. Once you get net acceleration, you calculate a net force also, no? Net force is equals to mass into net acceleration. Do this calculation. That is my required answer. Okay, ma? So this is the given question, ma. Body is moving in a circle of radius r. Okay, where the centripetal acceleration is according to lambda t square, ma, where lambda is a constant. Clear? Then find the time dependence of power developed by all the forces. Are you able to understand? Okay. So he is asking us to find out power developed by the forces which are acting on this particular particle. Are you able to understand? Okay. So when you look at this equation, AC is equal to lambda t square, what do you understand? R omega square. Ante? When you look at this equation, AC is equals to lambda t square, what do you understand? Centripetal force is directly proportional to time square. Okay. So one thing which I can understand is centripetal force is directly proportional to t square. It means as time is increasing, centripetal force is also, centripetal acceleration is also increasing. Clear now? So therefore, what is the equation for centripetal acceleration? Vt square divided by r. No? This is the equation for centripetal acceleration. No? Vt square divided by r. So now the question is that if a centripetal acceleration is increasing with respect to time, then can I say that tangential speed is also increasing with respect to time? Can I say? So centripetal acceleration is increasing. In which condition centripetal acceleration can increase? Only when tangential speed of the particle continuously increases. Because radius cannot decrease, no? Centripetal acceleration can be increased by two conditions. Either tangential speed should increase or radius should decrease. Centripetal acceleration is directly proportional to velocity, square of velocity, inversely proportional to radius. So either this value should increase or this value should decrease, then only centripetal acceleration can increase. Clear now? But radius of the particle, it is not changing, it is always a constant. So therefore what is happening? Tangential speed of the body is continuously increasing. That I can understand. Centripetal acceleration time to part perugutundi. Centripetal acceleration perigindi ante meaning emi tangential speed kachithanga perigindi ani artham. Okay. So tangential speed is increasing means what? Here the velocity of the body may be 2 meters per second. Here the speed of the body may be 4 meters per second. Here it is 6 meters per second. So like this speed is increasing, no? Then only centripetal acceleration will increase. Then only this condition will be satisfied. Up to here it is clear, no? Okay. So therefore, is it uniform circular motion or non-uniform circular motion? Definitely this is a non-uniform circular motion. Non-uniform circular motion. Are you able to understand? Ma? So therefore, how speed of the body can increase? Ma? Tangential speed of the body, how it can increase? If somebody is applying force on that particle, tangential speed is increasing means tangential acceleration is present, no? Clear, no? Tangential acceleration is not zero. What is meant by tangential acceleration is not zero? Tangential acceleration is present. And it will be in which direction? It will be in the direction of tangential velocity only. Are you able to understand? So how tangential acceleration comes into action? When somebody is applying force. When somebody applies force on the body, then only tangential speed can increase. And that force should be in which direction? Again in the direction of acceleration only. So therefore I can say, not centripetal. Tangential force will produce tangential acceleration. And once a tangential acceleration is produced, speed of the body increases. When speed of the body increases, then only centripetal acceleration also increases. Are you able to understand? No? So centripetal acceleration increases only when tangential speed increases. No? Are you able to understand what we are doing here? No? So therefore what we say, tangential acceleration can be produced in which condition? When tangential force is applied. Clear now? So it means some mechanism is applying tangential force on this body. So we are applying force, and with the help of force body is displacing also, no? It means work is done, no? Okay. So therefore, if tangential force and displacement are present, then what can you say? Then work is done on this particle. Work is done on this particle. Okay. And work will be always done in a particular time, no? So therefore, power can be written as work done divided by time. So therefore, this particular force, this particular mechanism is delivering power on this particle, no? And that power only we are supposed to calculate. Are you able to understand? Clear now? Because it is non-uniform circular motion, tangential speed should increase. Tangential speed increases, then only tangential acceleration comes into action. Tangential acceleration can come into action only when tangential force is applied. Force and displacement, if they are present, then work is done. Work done in a unit time is called as power. So some mechanism is delivering power on this body, then only its speed is continuously increasing. Is it clear? And power I can calculate in two methods, no? So power can be instantaneous power also. Power can be average power also. Two kinds of powers are there, no? So you can calculate both of them. You can calculate average power, you can calculate instantaneous power also. Already we studied power can be of two types, no? Clear, no? So instantaneous power, how can I calculate? P instantaneous is equals to F dash dot V instantaneous dash. This is the equation number. So force multiplied by instantaneous power is called as, instantaneous velocity is called as instantaneous power. Clear? Then what is the equation for average power? Average power can be calculated as total work done divided by total time. Are you able to understand? Come on, make a note up to here first of all. As force into instantaneous velocity. And force and velocity, they are acting in the same direction, no? So angle between them is 0 degrees. You need not write 180 degrees here. So tangential force will be in this direction. Acceleration also will be in the same direction. Velocity also will be in the same direction. So therefore, which force? Tangential force multiplied by which velocity? Instantaneous tangential velocity. That's all, no? Okay. So force, how can I write? Mass into tangential acceleration multiplied by tangential velocity. If you do this calculation, I will get instantaneous power. Okay. Now are the values, are they given? Only I have centripetal acceleration, no? I don't have, centripetal acceleration is there. Tangential acceleration is not at all given. So therefore, what can I do? I want tangential acceleration, but centripetal acceleration is the acceleration which is given, no? So therefore, what I have to do? Chappandi. Clear? So centripetal acceleration is how much? Lambda into t square. So this is equals to Vt square divided by r. This is the equation, no? So therefore, Vt square is how much? Lambda t square into r. So therefore, Vt is equals to how much? Root of lambda t square into r. So this is the equation for tangential velocity. Okay. Once I get tangential velocity, how can I calculate tangential acceleration? Tangential acceleration can be written as dvt divided by dt. Now velocity is changing with respect to time, no? So definitely I can use this relation. Clear now? So therefore, d by dt of lambda t square into r root. So therefore, here I am differentiating with respect to what? I am differentiating with respect to time. So only time is a variable number. So root lambda into r, it is a constant. So take it outside. So root lambda into r multiplied by differentiation of t square. Root t square. Okay. Root t square is a t number. So dt by dt will become 1. So therefore, tangential acceleration is how much? It is root lambda into r. So this is the tangential acceleration. So now I got all the values now. I got a tangential velocity also. I got tangential acceleration also. Just substitute them here. So therefore, m into tangential acceleration is how much? So root lambda into r multiplied by tangential velocity is how much? So root lambda t square into r. Okay. So just to simplify this one, that will be my instantaneous power. Understood now how we have done the calculation? So we are given only, this value only is given, only centripetal acceleration is given. From that we have done all the calculations. Clear? Now, how can you calculate average power? Average power, how can you calculate? So, total work done by total time number. So, total work done, how can I write? Force into displacement divided by time. Clear number? So, force, tangential force multiplied by displacement can be written as half A t square divided by t. Can I write like this? Displacement or distance traveled, can I write it's half A t square? Why? Why I can write half A t square? Because tangential speed is increasing, no? Tangential speed is increasing, no? It means it is accelerated motion. So, in accelerated motion, how can I calculate displacement? S is equal to ut plus half A t square. Initial velocity is 0, so half A t square divided by time. That's it. Centripetal force, we know the formula, no? What is the equation for centripetal force? Mass into tangential acceleration. And at value already we have calculated, no? At value is root lambda into r, t square divided by t. So, do this calculation also, then you will get equation for average power. Have you understood? Okay, ma? So, these calculations I am not doing, ma, you can do them very easily. So, instantaneous power is force into instantaneous velocity. Average power is total work done divided by total time. Work done formula, force into displacement. Displacement can be written as half A t square. That's it.